Having let go of Kennedy Mson, the Power Dynamos have gone on a run of 4 games without winning. And as expected, usually when you lose your top goal scorer, there are always going to be those struggles, especially if it's in the middle of the season. Possibly it's maybe something that you may not have even planned for. And so the key question now is, what do they do to pick themselves out of that spot of bother? What do they do to start scoring again and ensure that their stay at the table is prolonged even up to the end of the season? A lot of things could be done, but I think among everything, chief is that there is need for change of the approach in terms of modifying the system. The general question around football is that, what do you decide first? Do you decide the formation and look for the players that are going to fit in, or do you look at the players that you have and modify the formation, for example, the system? In this case, you would go for the latter, chiefly because the season is already in play and they can only do with the players that they presently have. And so it would be important to modify the system. Now, Kennedy Msonda is a player that would run the channels, a player that would sometimes provide hold-up plays, a player that would sometimes be explosive in the wide areas and work the spaces. But then when you look at the players that they have now in terms of Chideo and Brian Mueller, what are some of their strengths? Their strength is that they are box strikers, basically. These are players that are going to rely on maybe 1 or 2 touch finish in the box. And so this means that Power would have to modify the way they are playing to suit those kind of strikers. It may also mean they may need to change from their usual 4-3-3 or 3-5-2 at times to maybe your traditional 4-4-2, which in application sometimes becomes a 4-2-4. A lot of wing play, a lot of getting into the opposition box, the byline, and then whipping in maybe crosses from the byline to try and ensure that 1 or 2 touches, and then the ball is in the net. And so around this time, basically, you have to modify the system to suit the kind of players that are in your team. Obviously, there's another thought that if you're not playing players to their strength, then surely you're not going to get the best out of them. And so as long as they do not do that, they're not going to get what they are looking for. It could also be just about maybe playing certain players differently in order to create the chances that they are looking for, without which then it's going to be difficult. And so, like I said at the beginning, there could be a lot of possible solutions, but chief among them, I think, is changing the approach to suit the players that are there, and then everything else will be secondary. I don't know what you think about the subject, but that's my primary submission at this stage. Thanks for watching. Cheers.